Have you ever looked at your life and thought, I should be happy, so why don't I feel happy? You may have a home, people who care about you, food on your table, a phone in your hand, and many things that you once wished for, but somehow your mind still focuses on what is missing. You want a better job, a better house, more money, a better relationship, more success, a different life. And there is nothing wrong with wanting to improve your life. But the interesting question is, why is it so difficult for us to appreciate the life we already have? The answer has a lot to do with the way the human brain works. The brain quickly gets used to good things. Imagine you buy a new phone. On the first day, you are excited. You keep looking at it, using it, and feeling happy about your new purchase. A few weeks later, it becomes normal. You don't wake up every morning thinking, wow, I have a new phone. The same thing happens with many parts of our lives. A new house becomes normal. A good salary becomes normal. A loving relationship becomes normal. Even things that once felt like blessings can eventually become part of our everyday routine. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. It means that when something positive happens, our happiness often increases temporarily, but over time we adapt to it, and once we adapt, we start looking for the next thing. This is one reason why getting what we want doesn't always make us permanently happy. We notice what we don't have. There's another reason. Our brains naturally pay attention to problems, threats, and things that are missing. Think about your day. You might receive 10 compliments, but one negative comment can stay in your mind all night. You might have 100 good things in your life, but your attention can become completely focused on the one thing that isn't going the way you want. This doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means your brain is designed to notice what needs attention. But if we never consciously redirect our attention, we can start believing that our entire life is defined by what we don't have. Social media makes this even stronger. Today, we don't only compare ourselves with the people around us, we compare ourselves with hundreds or even thousands of people online. You open social media and see someone traveling, someone buying a new car, someone getting married, someone building a successful business, someone showing their perfect-looking home, and suddenly your own life feels smaller. You forget that you're comparing your ordinary, behind-the-scenes life with someone else's carefully selected highlights. You don't see their bad days. You don't see their arguments. You don't see their financial problems. You don't see their insecurities. You only see what they decided to show you. And your brain says, why don't I have that? This is how comparison quietly steals gratitude. We keep moving the definition of enough. Sometimes the problem isn't that we have too little. The problem is that our definition of enough keeps changing. Maybe you once thought, if I could just earn this much money, I would be happy. Then you reach that amount, but now you want more. You think, if I could buy this house, then I'd finally feel successful. You buy the house, then you want a bigger one. You achieve one goal, then another goal appears. There is nothing wrong with ambition. Ambition can help us grow, but if happiness is always waiting for the next achievement, we can spend our entire lives chasing a finish line that keeps moving. We often appreciate things only after losing them. One of the saddest things about human nature is that we often recognize the value of something when it is no longer available. A person may be sitting beside us every day, and we may not notice how important they are. Then one day they are gone. Suddenly the ordinary conversations become precious. The simple moments become memories. The things we once ignored become the things we wish we could experience again. The same can happen with health. When we're healthy, we rarely think about how valuable our body is. But when we become sick, even simple things can suddenly feel like blessings. Walking, sleeping peacefully, eating comfortably, breathing easily. We often don't notice the value of something while it is working perfectly. We notice it when it stops. And maybe that's why gratitude is so important, because gratitude allows us to recognize the value of something before we lose it. Gratitude doesn't mean you should stop wanting more. This is important. Being grateful doesn't mean you have to stop having dreams. You can be grateful for your current life and still want to improve it. You can say, I love what I have, and I still want to grow. Those two things can exist together. Gratitude isn't saying, I don't want anything else. Gratitude is saying, I won't allow what I don't have to make me blind to what I already have. You can work toward a better future without hating your present. You can have goals without believing your current life has no value. Try looking at your life differently. Imagine waking up tomorrow and losing everything you currently take for granted. Your room, your daily routine, your favorite food, your ability to communicate with someone you love, the people you usually see, the ordinary moments you barely notice. Now imagine getting just one of those things back. Would you see it differently? Probably. But you don't need to lose something to appreciate it. You can train yourself to notice it now. Look around. What is something in your life that you have become so used to that you don't even notice it anymore? Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your home. Maybe it's having food whenever you're hungry. Maybe it's simply having another day to live. These things may feel ordinary, but ordinary doesn't mean worthless. Sometimes, the most valuable things in life become invisible because they are always there. A simple way to practice gratitude. You don't need an expensive journal or a complicated routine. At the end of each day, ask yourself 3 simple questions. What did I have today that I often take for granted? Who made my day a little better? What happened today that I would miss if it disappeared tomorrow? The answers don't have to be big. Maybe you enjoyed a cup of tea. Maybe someone smiled at you. Maybe you laughed with your family. Maybe you slept peacefully. Maybe you had a quiet moment alone. The goal isn't to convince yourself that everything is perfect. The goal is to notice that even an imperfect life can contain beautiful moments. The real problem isn't always having less. Sometimes we think we'll become happier when we get more money, more attention, more success, more possessions, more followers, more achievements. But sometimes, happiness doesn't require adding something new. Sometimes it requires learning to see what is already there. Imagine having a treasure in your hands but spending your entire life searching for another treasure because you never stopped to look at the one you already had. That is what life can become when we constantly focus on what is missing. We keep searching, we keep comparing, we keep wanting, and we forget to live. Maybe the life you have today isn't the life you imagined. Maybe there are things you still want. Maybe there are dreams you haven't achieved yet. And that's okay. You don't have to pretend that everything is perfect. But before you look toward everything you want next, take a moment to look at everything you've already been given. Because one day, some of the things you consider ordinary today may become the things you would give anything to experience again. The people you see every day, the home you complain about, the health you rarely think about, the simple routines you sometimes find boring, the quiet moments you don't appreciate. One day you may realize that you are living through moments you would later miss. So, don't wait until something is gone to understand its value. Don't wait until a person leaves to appreciate their presence. Don't wait until your circumstances change to notice the good that already exists. You can want a better life and still be grateful for the life you have, because gratitude doesn't make you stop growing. It simply teaches you to stop overlooking what is already beautiful. And maybe the secret to feeling richer isn't always having more. Maybe sometimes it's finally realizing how much you already have